Photo Mum, a weekly show from an award-winning business owner, sharing business advice and experiences. The raw, the real, and in some cases, damn right dirty. In business, it's not about what you deserve, it's about what you believe. Believe in yourself, and the rest will fall in line. Photo Mum.
Today is the first proper podcast, the first proper one. And may I introduce my awesome guest, who I've known for a number of years now through networking.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years actually, hasn't it?
It has.
Probably
So
6-ish, I think.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name's Natalie Pieri.
And what do you do, just briefly? Because we're going to go into that in a bit more detail.
I'm a chartered certified accountant. I've got my own business called Connections Ltd, a firm of accountants in Chatham.
Okay, so we've known each other for how long?
Yeah, about 6 years, I think it is.
Must
be.
God, it's a long time.
Mm.
I was going to ask this question. I wasn't going to ask this question, should I say? But I think I'm going to, because I have met some amazing people through networking, and I look at them as kind of colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could be in the same genre of business. It's not competition, or you could be in a completely different genre. But I've met some amazing people that I actually go on holiday with.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I might socialise with. And I would never, like in the old jobs that I had, I always tried to keep myself distant from work colleagues because I was in a managerial position and I felt like I couldn't go out and socialise with them. Whereas now, I don't care now. I don't. I've had some bizarre holidays and girls' days out.
Yeah. It's funny, like you say, there's so many different networking groups out there, and I've been part of a few, and those people do turn that corner from colleague to friend, and then you choose to spend time with these people over and above the time that you have to promote your business because you want to.
Yeah, and I think also it does attract a like-minded person, networking and business in itself, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think trying to discuss being a business owner with somebody who is just an employee and has never been a business owner doesn't necessarily understand, the weight of responsibility, the pressures on your time, the pressures on your just general mental health, your mind.
Exactly.
And other business owners, they just get it because they're living the same thing that you're living.
Exactly.
So
I try and talk
good.
to Kieran, my other half, about stuff, and he just nods. He's like, yeah. And you can, here's that Homer Simpson moment. I don't know if you've ever watched the episode where Homer Simpson there's a monkey on a bike and there's ice cream involved in this. And I just think that's him. His clogs are turning, but he's thinking about something other than what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't bother talking to him about it. I save it for my business girlfriends because they know.
Absolutely.
So I sent you a list of questions because the whole point of Photo Mum is helping business owners or people coming into business to not make the same mistakes that we have. And I also wanted to make it a bit fun because I think there's a lot of content out there that may be a bit dry, and I have a very weird sense of humour. And I just thought I would share that with the world and bring people along with me on this crazy journey, because business can be serious, but I think you have to have a sense of, you have to have a personality.
Well, at the end of the day, we're people, and people do tend to buy from people.
We're not robots.
No. Absolutely not.
Well, however, there's a lot of people being replaced by robots, but let's not go there. Okay, so I sent you a list of questions. I hope the listeners find these funny. So how would you describe yourself in no more than 10 words?
Okay, so I had a thought about this, and I think that the majority of people might just sit here and list 10 adjectives to say what it is about themselves, but I came up with a sentence that is exactly 10 words that I think describes me.
I love this. Go. Okay, this is good.
So my 10 words are highly motivated and driven professional looking to change the world.
Oh, looking to change the world. I like that.
One set of accounts at a time.
Ching, ching. I should drop some sort of money thing. I think I will. I think through every comment today, your sound, your voice, your sound design will be money. Ding. Okay, I like that. Okay, so when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, so I was the world's weirdest 10-year-old because I always knew I was going to be an accountant from
Really?
10 years old.
No way.
Yeah. At school, when computers were like this wide at the back, you know, and the screens were like this tiny, and it actually came on a trolley that got wheeled into your classroom, there was a 100-question multiple choice thing that we had to do. It was kind of aptitude, personality-based questions, and then at the end, it gave you a list of all the jobs you're most suited for.
Okay.
Top of my list came auditor. So being 10 years old, I had no idea what an auditor was. So I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, what's an auditor? Because apparently I'm meant to be one when I'm older. And he was like, no. He said, auditors are accountants that people don't like. He said, if you want to be liked, go be an accountant. He went, in fact, yeah, you're really good with numbers. You're really good with maths. Go be an accountant. So that's it. I just decided I was going to be an accountant. But to be honest with you, I have always had a passion for teaching. So I think had I not gone into accounting, I would have gone into teaching. And but even that, I try and bring that into my business now.
Well, I was going to say that. You do that, don't you? Because you do workshops and you provide a lot of help and support for people in your delivery and what you do. So, but I like that about auditors. That's hilarious. Because I used to do a little bit of legal auditing, because obviously I used to work in the legal field. And at one point, I think about 2 years, I did auditing. And you are right, people are shit scared of auditors.
Yes.
As soon as you come in, they're like, you know, quick hide everything. And this is before the days of GDPR.
Even the word auditor, and everyone goes like,
dun, dun, dun. So that's interesting, because when I was younger, I actually wanted to work. I used to love Tony Hart. He used to do cartoons and stuff. Do you remember Morph? And that was my first, that was stop motion. And I didn't obviously know what stop motion was until I went into photography, videography later on in life. And I used to love that. So I wanted to be an artist when I was younger. And then I went into retail for a bit and customer service. And
so
then
you've always
went
had
into law.
that creative part.
I guess so. And here I am now doing this. So, bizarre. Okay. Very bizarre, but I like that auditor. That's brilliant. So, this is a very bizarre question, but this is just me. So, you've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What would you do with the elephant?
Okay. So, with my business head on, I would use it to make money. I would charge people to ride it, charge people to take pictures with it. I'd probably make it some kind of local celebrity, get its own social media account.
I know a good photographer that can help you.
Well, you know, like I say, for fear of the animal rights activists going, you can't do that to an animal. But that's why I caveated by saying I'm going to make the elephant a celebrity in its own right. It's going to be very well looked after. But
and it can make its own decisions. And
it will inevitably make money.
Because the elephant never forgets. Yeah,
that's right.
I like that. Excellent. Good old elephant. So if you had a choice of 2 superhero powers, what would you choose?
I would choose invisibility and teleportation.
Ooh, why those 2?
I hate traffic. I hate travelling in general, just being, and it takes so much time. Like, I think just generally as women, as business owners trying to juggle everything, you want to just get from one place to the next like that, just straight away.
Yeah.
So being able to just blink your eyes or click your fingers and just be from one part of the world to the other instantly, huge time saver. Imagine how much extra you could do in the time that you would save. Right?
I love that, especially this morning, because Natalie had a few problems with her car this morning, so that would have been very helpful today.
Absolutely. And invisibility, obviously, because, sometimes you want to hear what other people are saying when you're not in the room. Or...
I don't know if I would want to. See, when I was younger, I used to be quite, I wouldn't say, I'd probably go as far as say paranoid about what people thought of me. I used to be quite worried and concerned, and now I don't care. Yeah. So I think, although I don't care, I'd rather just not know. Yeah. You know, because it's like,
I had this discussion with somebody the other day. I said, like, I remember being in my 20s, well, even like, say teenagers and 20s, still really concerned about what other people thought of me and what other people would say about me.
And when did that change for you?
In my 30s, like literally as soon as I hit 30. Got into my 30s and I was like, do you know what? I am who I am. Take me or leave me. And if the people that are still around me are the real ones.
The ones that put up with you. Yeah, exactly. No, I was more mid-30s, I think. I kind of got to that point where I was like, I just don't care anymore. Yeah. I am who I am.
Precisely that.
Yeah.
we are women and we are great.
Well, this is it in every single way. But I think you kind of get to the point where you're used to, I wouldn't say flaws, but you know yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think once you know yourself and you're comfortable, then there's no stopping you.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I like that. Aim into that. And me being a big Wonder Woman fan, I think for me, I would like to have a truth lasso. Yeah, so people would tell me the truth.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I think that'd be quite a good one. But I'm not going to reveal my second one until the end of the series. So, what was the last gift you gave someone?
Okay, so the last gift I actually bought hasn't been given yet.
Ooh.
So it's a bit of a surprise. But I'm hoping that...
Is it for me?
I'm hoping that my 13-year-old son won't listen to this. Or if he does, it'll be after I've given it to him.
Okay, he probably won't listen to this.
But he is a huge basketball fan.
Ooh.
So I have got him and his dad tickets to Harlem Globetrotters.
No way.
They are going to meet them. They are going to
Oh
do
my
tricks
God,
with
I've got
them, have
goosebumps.
pictures with them.
For you.
And it's literally, they're in Brighton the week before his birthday in October. So I bought them tickets.
This is going to air
that.
before then. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you won't listen to this. Oh, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Oh, super jealous of that one. See, for me, anybody that buys me anything Wonder Woman related is in my good books. Yeah. So recently I helped somebody with a presentation at Lady Two Latte, and she turned up the other day. She had problems technical wise. So there's me, Katrina, here to save the day. And I was just doing it to help out because that's what I do. And she bought me a T-shirt, a Wonder Woman T-shirt. So thank you. She didn't have to do that.
That's
but
lovely.
I will start wearing that as from tomorrow. Okay, what's the best thing about being your own boss? There's many things, but what's the best thing?
For me, I'm going to say the word control. But when I say the word control, I don't mean I get to control other people. It's more about...
You will do as I say.
Yeah, it's control over my own life. It's control over my time, control over who I do and don't work with. You know, I get to make the decisions. I'm in the driving seat. I'm driving my own destiny. So I think that control aspect is the best thing about being your own boss.
I agree with you. I think during lockdown, I took a job at Tesco stacking shelves because I knew what was coming. My family were in Spain. They were a month ahead of us. I knew exactly what was coming. So I got on the phone to my friend and said, is there any jobs going? She said, well, actually, yeah, they're furloughing loads of staff, vulnerable staff. So, yeah, they need people to come in. Brilliant. So I stacked shelves in the evening. And just that thought of having a manager, you know, being told when I can work.
Yeah.
You know, when...
it kind of changed. I think the more you work for yourself, the more and more you think that you've made yourself unemployable in the future.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been 10 years, but I did it. And actually, you know, I mean, this manager wasn't particularly great, bless him. He was a young manager. And obviously I've been in managerial positions and senior management positions, so I know how difficult it can be. And I just kind of took pity and I'm like, oh, bless him. He really doesn't know what he's doing, but let's just carry on with this. And, you know, I just clocked in, clocked out, did my bit, and that was it. You know, that's all I did because, you know, I just needed to carry on through whatever was happening with the whole, you know, pandemic, which was great fun. Okay, so favourite colour and why?
Okay, so...
Oh, this is a perfect question for you.
Anybody that knows me in a business context would try and answer this question for me and say blue. But actually, my favourite colour is not blue at all. My favourite colour is pink.
Really? So obviously, apart from today, I think this is the first time in a long time I haven't seen you wearing blue. So my brand, you're right. So you obviously wear blue because...
Well, because it's the colour of my brand and, you know... I'm a big advocate of branding and brand awareness. You have to be consistent with your branding. So where I consistently wear blue to things that I know I'm going to get filmed at or pictured at, then now everybody's got it in their mind. Whenever they see like a royal blue, they will think of me and they will think of my company.
Perfect.
But actually, like I say, my favourite colour is pink. You know, probably gender stereotyping, but pink for me is quite a feminine colour.
It is, yeah.
And I've been a tomboy my entire life. Like
Same.
I am not a girly girl, never have been. I don't think I ever really will be. Don't do the hair, don't do the makeup, none of that kind of stuff.
Or
really.
Nails, all of that
no,
stuff. No,
absolutely not. But on the occasion when I get dressed up and I like to put a dress on and maybe a bit of lippy, then, you know,
Pink's the colour.
Pink's the colour because it makes me feel a bit more feminine.
Oh, I like that. Well, my brand colours are orange and I just look awful wearing orange, so there's no way.
I don't think that there's many people out there that can pull off orange, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, there's grey in there, so you know, I'm wearing my brand. I'm wearing my t-shirt that has my logo on, and it's got my contact details on the back. So that's enough for me.
Absolutely.
So, what advice would you give someone starting out in your line of work?
So there's two main bits of advice I would give anybody trying to get into my line of work. Firstly, I would say...
Don't be an auditor.
Staying on top of current affairs is actually really, really important for my line of work. You know, what's going on in Parliament right now? How is it going to affect tax rules and business planning going forward? Because in our industry, it's a lot of proactivity. It's what's coming, how can we avoid it, or how can we work with it, how can we get the best solution for it. So unless you're up to date on what is actually going on in Parliament, then you can't make those decisions. You can't help people make those tax planning
and would that be
decisions.
Your first kind of protocol, Parliament, or is there other things that you'd need to watch that would have a trickle effect, or is that the first place you'd go?
The majority of the big decisions are made in Parliament, normally from the Chancellor of the Exchequer. So it would be follow his social media accounts, like anything kind of financial related. The BBC are talking about it, you should be listening.
So that's the financial decision aspect of it. But what about behaviours? Because behaviours could be triggered by something else, couldn't it? Like behaviours of business owners, so to speak. So obviously your line of work is the financial side of it, but there's also other aspects to your work as well, as in people's attitudes towards looking after their money and what they need in place as a... Do you get where I'm going?
Yeah, absolutely. We try and help people make better decisions with their money, but at the end of the day, a lot of people go into being their own boss because they don't like being told what to do. So as much as you can advise people on the best way to save their money or use their money in the most tax efficient way, people inevitably do what they want to do.
So that's a skills kind of thing, isn't it? But what about more of a softer skill of advice for people going into your...
Well, I would say that university is not a big like decision maker. If you want to go into the accounting industry, I found out quite early on that professional qualifications and professional experience count a lot more than a degree on paper does.
Nice. Yeah. So if you can try and get yourself, I don't know, some voluntary work or work experience somewhere. Yeah. As young as possible. Yeah, I like that. Well, interesting. Thank you for that. So where are we now? Oh, I like this one. If you could compare yourself to any animal, which would it be and why?
Again, I think some people that know me might go, lion, she's a lion. But actually, I'm going to go one down from a lion. I'm going to say tiger.
Ooh, why?
The reason I say tiger is because they can be aggressive like lions when they need to be. But they can also be quite majestic and, dare I say, lovable. Not that I'd actually want to go up and try and cuddle a tiger, but I think that they're more approachable than a lion is.
I think, if you were to see two side to side, a lion and a tiger, you'd probably shit yourself at the lion.
Yeah.
Not so much the tiger, deceptive. Yeah. Very interesting.
So I'm lovable, but when I need to be ruthless, I can be ruthless as well.
Loving that.
Just ask my children, they'll tell you.
I think we all have an element of that, don't we? It's terrible. Okay, so if you were to go back in time, I think this is what... so recently, I've been fortunate enough to interview my son as part of this podcast, and we had a conversation, well, obviously it's 29 years later, of my journey of me being a young mum, and I interviewed him, and that episode dropped last week, and it was really interesting reliving some of the things, but talking to him about his perception of what was going on at the time and stuff like that. So, and it was really interesting because he asked me, or what people have asked me, sorry, if I could go back in time, would I do things differently? And absolutely not. it was my question and I went into it. So if you're interested, listen to that episode, because that was really, I think, very telling and very interesting. So my question is to you. If you were to go back to your 13-year-old self, because I think 13 is quite an important age or milestone in one's life, what advice would you give yourself?
This was the question I struggled with the most, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because similarly to you, I wouldn't change anything about my past, the good, the bad and the ugly, because all of those struggles I went through made me the person I am today. I wouldn't be as driven as I am now had it not been for the hardship I went through as a child.
Yep.
So I guess the only bit of advice I'd give my 13-year-old self is don't worry too much about other people's opinions, and that the only person's opinion that matters is yours.
It's so hard though, isn't it? It is so hard, and it's so easy to say it now, but to actually do is difficult.
Absolutely.
And I've got a daughter that's, in 5 years' time is going to be that age, and it's I'm not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to that at all. I think my son Stephen, if my youngest son's anything to go by, because he's like his brother already, I think I'll have an easy time. I hope so. But Thea, I'm dreading it. Okay, I'm just dreading it.
Good luck with that. I've got all boys. I've not got to worry
skip
about
that
girls.
bit, please. Can I just, a bit like the multiverse. Can we just skip a couple of years?
Yeah. Yeah, come back to me when you're a normal functioning adult in society. Thanks.
Oh, we don't like the word normal. So if you were a food item, what would you be and why?
I've chosen pizza.
Okay.
I've chosen pizza because, like a pizza, people love me in different ways, right? So you can love a pizza, but like somebody can like a pepperoni, but then somebody likes a vegetarian pizza.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, I can be sweet or savoury, given the circumstances.
So you can kind of change your topping. I like that. That's a very good one. Anybody coming on is going to have some, because you've set the bar today.
The bar's up here now, people.
Yeah, anybody
Sorry.
listening that's going to be a guest on this show, good luck. Follow that. Love that. So if you're going abroad on holiday,
Yep.
what item would you not live without?
This was by far the easiest question to answer. Tea bags. Absolutely. I don't leave the country without PG tips in my in my bag. Absolutely not.
I love that, tea bags.
Yeah.
That's what...
Although, you can never quite get it exactly right abroad because the milk's slightly different, the water's slightly different.
Yep.
But so long as
the tea
I
bag.
can maintain my consistency with my PG tips. Obviously, other tea bags are available. But
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet.
PG tips, get on it.
I think you actually do have a PG tips tea. I think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh, it might be Telly. Is that the same? Telly tea bags?
No.
They're not. I think it is
The
Telly.
tea bag debate.
Right. That could be a whole different question.
Couldn't it?
We did say get the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright dirty on this show, but there we go. So, okay, the most important bit and the main reason why you're here is we know who you are, we know your company, but explain a bit more about yourself and the business.
I like to think that me as a person, I'm quite an open book. So, I think that the majority of people know a lot about me already. But, I'm local girl, Medway born and bred, been here my entire life. I've lived in pretty much every single Medway town, but I've not moved out of the Medway towns. Yeah. I think I've lived Gillingham, Strood, Rochester, Chatham, Raynham. Yeah, I think all of those.
Wow. So you have
and I'm in Twiddle now.
Wow, so you've literally covered pretty much most of Medway.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very loyal to the place where I came from, see?
Yeah, see, I love Medway. People complain about Medway, but actually I think we're quite lucky because we're not far from London.
Yeah.
We're not far from the coast. We are in, there's some really nice parts of Medway that are very green.
Absolutely.
So we are part of the Garden of Eden. Garden of
England,
England.
yeah.
Moving on.
So I have a husband. I've got 3 children. They're aged 13, 11 and nearly 2.
God, that's gone so quick.
It's gone super, super quick. My husband's Greek Cypriot. His family, they're very dedicated to their culture and their traditions. So obviously marrying into that, I, adopted as much as I can as well. I think it's a bit of respect as well. If somebody has a really deep view, whether it be religious or cultural, then if you're marrying into it, then you should.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to believe it yourself, but you have to be respectful of it. So I've tried to adopt as much of the culture
part of the person that you fall
as
in
we
love
can.
with, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. So back in September 2019, we had our big fat Greek wedding. All the Greek traditions. We did that, pinning the money on the dress, smashing the plates, violinist, like everything. It was a really, really amazing day. So pretty much. I feel like on paper I'm quite a boring person because I'm an accountant by day, I'm a mother by night, and if I'm not accounting or mothering, I get a bit lost and I don't really know what to do with myself.
No, I think you're far from boring. You're fine. You're fine. So your business, how did that first come about? When did you set that up and why?
So I was 18 when I left school. After doing my A-levels, I literally wrote a cover letter and a CV, and I printed off 40 copies, and I did a Yale.com search for accountants in Medway, and I hand wrote all of these envelopes and I sent out 40 letters. I got 6 responses, 4 of which said, no thank you, not looking for anybody, and 2 of which said, come down, have a chat, we'll have an interview. My maiden name, obviously, as you know, was Thompson, and one of the companies that got in touch with me was Thompson and Company.
Oh, hilarious!
And I thought, this is just like a sign, right? Sign from the universe. This is where you're meant to go.
I now own the company.
It was so funny. Like as an office junior, calling people, going, "Hi, it's Natalie Thompson from Thompson and Company," made me sound so much more important than I was.
You had more authority. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
And all of the other members of staff were convinced I was some kind of plant, like that I was related to the boss somehow, and I was there to see what they all do.
Spy.
Yeah, which absolutely wasn't the case. But no, so Mike Thompson gave me my first opportunity in accounting. I'm very grateful to him for that, and he's still part of my journey. He's
so how
still
long
a mentor
were you there?
for me. I was there, so basically every couple of years I found myself in a different firm for varying reasons, mainly because, I'm very driven and I know what I wanted to be, and sort of in that first role it was split between office admin and accounting. And I was like, I'm doing more office admin than accounting, and I want to do more accounting. That's what I came into this industry for. So it was more experience. So the more different people you can work with, the greater scope of your experience that you can use for the future.
Absolutely. And I think you can get quite complacent if you stay in one place too long.
Yes.
And I used to do the same as you. I used to move on every couple of years. Yeah, absolutely.
So I worked for varying firms over Medway and Maidstone, and then I had some changes in circumstances at home, so I needed to change what was going on in my work life to get the work-life balance a bit better. So I moved into what we call commerce accounting. So I worked in the internal finance department for a large credit card company.
Oh, right.
Which was, it served the purpose at the time, and but I realised very quickly that my passion is in practice accounting, which is what I'm doing now, where I work for multiple different businesses. Because it just gives so much more variety,
You kind of get bored, I think, if you're just dealing with one lot of accounts and one lot of things.
And that's it. Is that on working day 1, every month I knew what I was going to do, and on working day 4 and 3, and it got a bit mundane. So I thought, I'm going to go back into practice accounting. So I found a job in a firm. And a couple of months into working for them, I thought, you know what? I think I can do this. I think it's time. Because my industry is predominantly male heavy at the top. And, they're not super young. So kind of adverse to change somewhat.
That's a very soft way of saying it.
Yes, right. Yes. So as much as I was trying to push forward with new incentives, new ideas,
a lot of kickback.
There was so many no's, so many we'll think about it, and I'm like, that's just a nice way of saying no. So I thought, you know what, the only way I think I'm going to make any kind of significant change in my industry is to lead the change myself. So
I love this. I'm getting goosebumps now. Lead the way.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do. So I started the business, And like I say, it's progressed over the past 7.5 years now, and I didn't do this by design. It literally just, I take my signs from the universe, like what I should be doing, and who I'm drawn to, like when I interview people for jobs, and it just so happens that we are an all-female team. There's 5 of us. We're all women, you know.
All awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
All look good in blue.
Flying the flag for women in accounting. And that's not to say that I purposely chose not to have men in the business. You know, if a man came along and he fit the criteria, then absolutely he would be welcomed into the team with open arms. But as it stands, and just the way it happened is we're all women.
Yeah, well, and I think women are better with money anyway. That's what I say.
Well, I say
if you're going to go to anybody for advice about money, go to a woman. That's what I say. You know?
I was I actually had a meeting with somebody yesterday, and I was explaining that we're an all-female team, and I said that from the one of the advantages of that, I said, is that we have no problem in nagging people for information on a regular basis. But I changed the word nag because I don't like the word nag because it sounds a bit like a horrible thing, like a chore.
A negative thing, yeah.
So I've rebranded nagging as reminding with authority.
Like it.
So we regularly remind people with authority to bring their stuff to us.
The next time Kieran moans at me, I say, I am not nagging.
No.
I'm reminding you with authority.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Authority. As South Park would say. Okay, so let's move on. I want to talk about pizza. Now you mentioned pizza, about that's what your food item would be. So we might fall out of your response to this because being Italian, does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, no.
Absolutely.
No.
The other weirdos in my house seem to think otherwise, but pizza absolutely
That's
belongs.
it. Leave. Go.
Go. Pineapple on a pizza all day long.
No, definitely not. Now, I normally do this, what's in your bag, but we forgot to bring your bag in the studio.
I can tell you what's in my bag.
So, the reason behind this silly idea was there's a photographer that I follow called Peter McKinnon, and he does this what's in your pocket.
Okay.
So obviously women don't really tend to have pockets. Well, I do. I wear jeans quite a lot, but I've actually got jeans that don't really have pockets, so that's not helpful. But us women, we tend to have bags, don't we? So I just thought it'd be funny to ask people, what's in your bag? So what's in an accountant's bag?
Just the general stuff, really. I mean...
So not a calculator?
No. Purse, phone, keys, business cards, notepad... and a selfie stick. I mean, who doesn't just carry a selfie stick in their handbag just in case it's needed, you know?
And tea bags.
I don't have tea bags in my handbag. I put them in my bag when I go abroad.
Because everywhere she goes, she knows she's going to get access to good tea. Apart from me today with Natalie. But let's move on.
Don't worry, it's not a deal breaker.
So I want to just quickly, there's a couple of more questions and then we're going to go on to the challenge parts of the show. So managing stress. So this week is mental health week. Now this is going out a week after mental health week. Okay. But I think it's poignant regardless of what week of the year it is. You know, mental health is mental health. So have you got any things that you do to reduce stress or things that you want to adopt to reduce stress?
Lists.
Ooh.
Lists is my number one method because I think stress ultimately derives from the fact that we've got so much going on and it's all in our heads. Okay. We've got multiple mental lists going on of things we need to do at home, things we need to do for the kids, things we need to do for the business, you know, not just for the business, but things we need to do for certain clients. As soon as you get that all out of your head and onto paper in a list, then all of a sudden you feel this like mental weight just lift off your shoulders. You're like, right, I know now what it is I need to do.
Like it.
It's there in black and white. And then you can start working your way through that list. You can prioritize that list as opposed to just going, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm just going to do this now. And it might not be the best use of your time at that particular moment in time.
I think also for me, workflow is really important. So as a photographer, videographer, we have a certain method to working. Each has their own way of working. And I think it's the same with anything, with administration or any aspect of your job, having a workflow that you're comfortable with, so you know how long certain tasks are going to take, that then you can allocate certain slots of the day to do. And I like the idea of the lists. And I used to kind of prioritize my lists as in what would take me less time.
Yep.
And do those first. So, and I know other people do the other approach, but I do the tasks that are quicker ones, so I can get through most of it, leaving the largest chunk of time for the ones that can take longer. I find that that's quite useful. And I think going into business, if you can structure your day, not just with lists, but with time slots, I think it's really important, because then you can say, right, okay, I've done 10 minutes of that task. I now need 40 minutes over here. And then boom, off you go.
There's a book called Eat That Frog. I don't know if you've ever read that before.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah. So
does it say the same thing, or?
Well, it's essentially the opposite.
Okay.
So it's saying
I like to be different.
It's saying have your lists, make your priorities, but if there's one thing on that list that you look at and you go, ugh, it's going to take ages, or I don't want to do it. It's like that's the frog, and you should just get it over and done with.
This is what I like, because everyone has different ways of doing things, and you've got to find the thing that works for you.
Well, I think that naturally I do what you do. Okay. I do as many of the little things I can, just because then it's more things are coming off the list. Yeah. So then mentally I'm like, my list started off as 50 things, and I've only got 4 things left, but those 4 things might take even more time than the rest of it. But I'm trying to change my mindset to do more of the eat that frog approach.
I like that. So that's a book to buy then, I think. Interesting. Like that. Thanks for that nugget. Now we're going to go on to the 60. Oh no, before we do that, actually, I just want to go back to, if there was one nugget of advice to give someone, I know we've kind of brushed over it, but just kind of recap one nugget of advice in anybody, especially now with obviously post-pandemic, thinking about or going into business, what piece of advice would you pass on?
Fail to plan to fail.
Good one.
That is it in a nutshell. It's, if you plan things properly, then they will inevitably go through really well. It's the hope anyway. Yeah. But if you have a plan, then a plan can be adapted. And if you don't have a plan and you just go in blind, then you creating even more stress.
Absolutely. And I think also don't overplan as well. And I think always allow buffer times for things to develop and grow, and don't put too many milestones or expectations on you too early on. Yeah. I think that's my biggest nugget. In networking circles, we are used to something called, there's different terminology for it.
Yeah, there is 60-second presentations or
elevator pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called an elevator pitch. I've never been in an elevator for more than 60 seconds.
No.
For less than 60 seconds, shall I say. So I don't know why it's called that.
I think that inevitably that is it. It's that if you're stuck in an elevator with somebody and you're going up a few floors, how do you sell yourself in that short period of time?
Because everyone talks to each other in elevators, don't they?
Yeah. Well, we don't even call them elevators in this country. Lift pitch.
A lift pitch.
A lift pitch.
Wrong, doesn't it? So the elevator pitch, the lift pitch, whatever you want to call it, your 60 seconds is the time frame that most people are given. And that can be really hard for some people when they kind of have to stand up, and or it can be really easy for some people.
Sometimes it's difficult to fill the 60 seconds, but then similarly, some people who like to, let's say, waffle.
We know plenty of those, me included.
Go on for 2 or 3 minutes, and it's like, no, 60 seconds. Yeah.
So, I'm asking all of my guests to do their 60-second pitch, and we have a leaderboard. It's called the Leaderboard Challenge. And obviously Natalie is going to be, whatever time she does today, is going to be position number 1, because you're the first person on the leaderboard. So hopefully she stays there. No pressure. So just to be evil, every time someone says or they will have 1 second deducted. So I'm going to try and keep count. And obviously we're recording this, so if I do make a mistake, I can always go back to the recording. If I've missed anything.
Well, that's not fair.
It's like, was it the goal line? What's it called where they do the football thing?
VAR.
VAR. So this is my VAR. Okay, so I am ready to start scoring you down. You're going to ace this, I know you are. Okay, are you ready?
I am.
And the time is now.
Good morning. My name is Natalie Pieri. My company is Connections Ltd, and I'm a chartered certified accountant. I've been working in the accounting industry for the past 18 years, and I've been running my own business for the past 7.5 years. Our job at Accounting Connections is to make sure all of our clients are set up on the right road from day one. It is so important that your taxes are set up right so that your business is working for you and not the other way around. I mean, who wants to give more money to the taxmen than they need to, right? We're actually 1 month into the new tax year, so right now we're focusing on helping our CIS contractor clients get their refunds from HMRC. Refunds are only taking about a week to be paid out at the moment, so the sooner you get your paperwork to us, the sooner your money will be in your bank account. With that in mind, if you know of any CIS subcontractors who don't have their affairs in order right now, then please send them my way. You can find us at www.aconnect.co.uk. So that's all from me, Natalie Pieri, Accounting Connections, connecting you to accounting of the future.
There was no ums and ers. You did awesome.
What was my time?
But it is 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Oh, 2 seconds
Point
over.
15. I think I also have to do the whole points.
You
as
should,
well.
yeah.
So, Natalie, you are top of the leaderboard for now.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. So, I want to thank you very much for coming on down and being part of the first proper business talk on Photomum.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely.
So, how can people find you?
So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, at Aconnect UK. Our website is www.aconnect.co.uk. Just, yes,
I will
search
put
us
all
up.
the information on the description as well. So go and find these lovely ladies that you will find most of them all in blue. At
We
events.
try.
At events. They look great in blue. In fact, we was talking about it the other day, wasn't it? Saying, part of your job description should be you must look good in blue.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hear you next time.
That's it. Thank you for lending us your ears. Be sure to subscribe and look out for the next episode. We're also on YouTube. If you dare to look at our faces, that is. Well, nothing left to say other than ciao for now. Oh, it's not finished yet. Okay, try again. And ciao for now. Nope. Right, wait. Ciao for now. Nailed it.